Please allow me to be frank and with respect to many wonderful people around this room here. I'm going to speak in general terms. So nobody please take personal offense. I wish to start really from where President Obasanjo ended. Let us start by looking at the age issue. You politely brought it and said, I like to see a critical mass. You see, I've been president for a long time. That's why I always careful with your words. Now, this continent is continent of young people. Half of our people here are below 20 years old. Yes? Look at the average age of our presidents. It's about 63, 64 years old. We're the only continent in the world where we have presidents at 90 years old starting new terms. I mean, you guys are crazy or what? We've seen people in wheelchairs, unable to raise hands to standing for elections. This is a joke. Yes, you are right to laugh because the whole world is laughing at us. I always say, you look around you. You look, United States, an economy of 15, 16 trillion dollars. We, all of Africa, are less than $1 trillion. This is a 15, 16 trillion dollar economy, right? The most important country in the world, like it or not. Obama, who happened to be half African anyway, become president when he's 46, 47 years old. He's president. If Obama was in Kenya, what he will be doing now? He will be driving a bus maybe. Yeah? You look, really, and he's not the youngest president. Clinton was younger than him. Clinton became president at 46 years old. Kennedy was 40 years old, 40 odd subsequent years old when he became president. Why these big countries, much bigger than us, entrust their economies, their nuclear weapons, their oil resources to people who are in their 40s? And we only pick up people at 90 years old to lead us. To lead us where? To the grave? You agree? You don't agree? I know he's your friend, but
just now, I need to
I'm sorry.
reestablish order now. I need to reestablish order.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm not allowed to laugh, so I'm
Okay.
trying really hard to refocus.
You
this
didn't
discussion.
interrupt him because he's a president. You
No,
interrupted me.
I'm trying to refocus you. I need you to refocus.
Oh, you are getting jealous. You are getting jealous.
Yeah, of course I'm jealous. You are president and handsome too, Nice jalabia.
So what is the how? So we can identify what the problems are, and I don't think anybody's, we're all laughing, but in reality, it is a challenge that we have on this continent.
Yeah.
So how do we remedy that? How do we fix that?
Yeah, I think really we need our youth to have the space. We really need to look at our political organizations, our institutions, etc. And this is a young continent, and we need to appreciate that we don't understand the world of those young people. We are out of touch. We have to accept that. The future of those guys who are not going to be there to live it. There's a lot of new challenges facing this new generation, which we have no grip to get to grips with it. And we need to find a way now to bring those younger people more into power. It is the job of us, our current leadership, to try and empower this young generation to bring them in. I can see this happening in some countries. I can see some of and interestingly, it is some of the younger presidents in Africa whom now you go and meet their cabinet and to see really a lot of young people, a lot of young women sitting there. That's really refreshing. And so we need to empower and trust this young generation to come forward. They have the energy, they have the know-how, they understand the age. That will help us to move forward.
Thank you. If I can come to you on this point.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Our theme and subject is leadership for the Africa we want. I think the beginning for me is, what Africa do we want? We have to, that must be the starting point. And if we can agree, and I don't think it should be difficult for us to agree on the Africa we want. Africa where nobody will feel oppressed. Africa where everybody will have opportunity. Africa where there will be democracy and full participation. Africa where everybody will be able to develop its potentials. Africa which belongs to all Africans and those who want to live in Africa and work and be with us. You raise a point. I was very uncomfortable about 6 months ago. A Nigerian young girl, well, if you can call her a young girl, 27-year-old, wrote me a letter and said, I am worried and I am constrained to write you this letter because I'm in a situation where we have a past that I do not understand. We have a present that is confusing. And we have a future that I don't have confidence in. Now, and I think that more or less captures the feeling of the youth. And of course, I wrote back to her and said, look, we need to talk. And she brought about 15 of her peers, boys and girls. I will spend a whole night talking about the past, the present, and the future. And they are not asking for anything that is extraordinary. And I said to them, I said, look, in my time, there were not many facilities, but there were opportunities. Today, maybe there are more facilities, but the opportunities have diminished. How can we enhance and increase the opportunities for them? And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to. We have heard of transformation leadership, visionary leadership, servant leadership, and all that. Any leadership, whether it's in the private sector, in the public sector, in the church, in the diplomacy, even in farming, any leadership that has no vision is no leadership. Any leadership that has that cannot transform is no leadership. Any leadership that cannot bring up a successor is no leadership. So all these qualifications of leadership, I think we are begging the question. A leader must be a leader. And the job of a leader is to lead. Lead in all aspects of the form. Now, how can we get leaders for the Africa that we need? I believe that we have some leaders that are performing, whichever walks of life you look at it. But my position is that we don't have a critical mass of those leaders that are performing. We need critical mass of performing leaders in all walks of life. And when we get there, when we have that, we will get to where we want to get to as Africans and as Africa. Thank you.